Hey everyone, it's Anna. Thanks so much for visiting my channel. I'm doing the last video in my series that I'm sharing the cards that I have made in my card stash, my handmade card stash. And the video that we're working on now is for Christmas and winter. So if you're interested in seeing the videos that I've done for any of these other topics, please check my playlist tab and you'll find a playlist there called Handmade Card Shares. And you'll see all of the card topics listed here. So let's go ahead and start taking a look at the Christmas and winter cards that I have in my stash. Again, these are cards that I've made in previous years or earlier this year that just haven't been sent out yet. And so I'm just doing my best to share them with you. So first up is this one here. It's made with my small gingerbread die. He has a cute little heart on his chest, and then I have this word die here that says Let It Snow, and these are dies from Impression Obsession. I used a couple different pattern papers here as my background, and I just thought this was a really fun and easy card to make, and then I added this really fun twine bow. This next card is also made with stamps and dies from Impression Obsession, and I used some music note in the background. The paper that I used has some embossed glitter polka dots on it, like it's snowing. So the paper actually came that way. And then the stamp here is one from Impression Obsession, and then the die is also an Impression Obsession branch. And I used some glitter glued there to add like little blobs of snow on the branch. So I think this card is really cute. This card is made using an image from Stampendous, and it's an antique postcard. And once I had the image stamped, then I inked that background with various different colors of ink, and then I used some glitter to add snow to the scene. So it's not very sparkly in the camera, but it's really sparkly in person. So I think that turned out beautiful as well. Here's a card I made with images from Picket Fence Studio. And it's just a cute little snowman and a bird. And then their sets are clear, so I was able to curve this set here and stamp it along the edge of the circle. I think that card turned out really cute too. Of course, I think they all do. Here's a card I made. This is one of my favorites. This is actually going to be really hard to send. This is a card I made using a die from Impression Obsession. I love this reindeer die. Mitra did a beautiful job designing this die. And here I've used the Pine Sprig die set as well, which is one of my absolute favorites in my stash. I just love how the pine cones turn out, and I love the little pine sprigs here. So I'll get that up closer so you can see it. And again, this little set right here is called Pine Sprig from Impression Obsession, and I just love this die and this card. So I die cut it once, I popped the deer out, and I stamped him with a text stamp. Then I inked him up as well. So you can see I really heavily inked the antler here. And I heavily inked the side of his neck. And that allowed me, while I was inking him separately, I was able to ink all these separate pieces too, like puzzle pieces, and get the ink different colors. And then I just pieced it all back together, and that's how I got the gradient look and still let him pop out in the design. So if you'd like, I can show how to make a card like this using that technique. So I think this is really beautiful. It's one of my favorite cards that I've ever made. Here's a card I made using an image from Picket Fence Studio. I don't remember the name of this stamp set, but it was like Santa Gnome or something to that effect. And then I used some of the sentiments in that set to stamp some on the background there. Then I used dies from Impression Obsession here to create this little cluster down at the bottom. I think it turned out really cute. I love the Jingle Bell die. It's also one of my favorites, and these pine sprigs here as well. And then she has some really fun leaves that I die cut a couple times. Here's a card that I made using my one of my whippersnapper snowmen, and I think he turned out real cute. So, and then I just really added an easy little sentiment banner here to his belly. And use some cute plaid paper there in the background. So I think he's pretty fun. Here's a card I made with a die from Impression Obsession. This is a really nice little background die that makes creating a card really fast and easy. And then I also used their jingle bells as well. I added some glitter there to the center of the bells. And then I added glitter to all the stars in that sentiment as well. And then I used, there's a sweater stamp from Impression Obsession. I used it to stamp the background of the card. So, really cute. Here is a small card. This one is about 4x4, and I used a Spellbinder's scalloped square die to die cut the card base. And this image is from High Hopes rubber stamp. And I think that is really beautiful. So you can see it's just a little 4x4 card. Here's a card I made with stamps from Impression Obsession. This was one of their first slimline releases. And so you've got this really beautiful village. It looks like it's, I don't know, international location. And then I stamped some trees in the background there and stamped Peace on Earth. And then since I used distress ink and different inks that activate with water, I was able to add water splotches and then lift that ink up, which is what gave it that polka dot look. So I love this card. I think it's beautiful. Here's a card I made with some snowmen that I drew for Whippersnapper, and I used some paper from a memory box that had this little scene in the background here, and then I just added some snowballs over the snowmen. And the sentiment here is one that I did for Whippersnapper as well. So real cute. Here is a card I made with an image from High Hopes rubber stamps. And this is Santa water skiing saying, "Wish you were here." I don't know that I ever needed to see Santa without his coat on, but here we are. Here is a card I made with another image from from High Hopes rubber stamps. I thought this was really cute little image. Dangling that star in front of a polar bear. Cute. And speaking of Santa, at the beach, here we are again. He is literally on the beach, enjoying some sort of peppermint surprise. So, and what I like most about this card is the snowflake. It's punched out with a Marvy snowflake punch, and then I added brown distress ink, and then I added glitter, glass glitter. What is that stuff called? Diamond dust, I think, the glass glitter. And so it's super, super sparkly. We've got this card here. This was made with my angel die that I released just this year with Impression Obsession. She's called a Primitive Angel. Yeah, I really like this card too. She's got that cute little copper jingle bell. And her beautiful gold halo. Here's another card that I made with the die that released for this year's Christmas. This is Standing Deer, and I think this die is really fun and easy to use. He has a jingle as well. Here's a card I made with a stamp from Peddler's Pack. He is stamped on watercolor paper, and then I added some Impression Obsession stamps in the background with numbers and script, and then I used one of my Impression Obsession dies, which is called Stitched Borders, I think. Looks like this, to die cut into the edge of the paper here for some detail. And I love, love, love this card. Here's another card I made with that same technique where I die cut that stitched border there into the edge of the card. And this card was made with an image from Stampin' Up. I used another image from Stampin' Up to stamp postcard on here, and then it had another little like postage cancellation stamp here, and then I used an Impression Obsession sentiment. It was like just script to stamp some additional background detail. And I have a video on my a video on my channel where I make this card. So you can check that out if you'd like. Here's a card I made with an image from, I believe, Hero Arts. The background here is stamped with an image from Impression Obsession. It's just kind of like a grid background stamp. You Give Me Warm Fuzzies is from one of my Whippersnapper sentiment sets. And this is one of my dies for Impression Obsession. It's the pet tags. And then I used a cute little pet footprint embossing folder there as well. So I know exactly who this card is going to go to this year. This card I made with an image from Stampendous. And again, I stamped the Impression Obsession numbers and script in the background here. He is stamped on watercolor paper and painted with these clean color zig markers. And I used that same die to die cut into the edge of the paper there. You can see that detail. I love that detail. And I added glitter to a couple of different spots on him. So I love this card as well. And then I have a whole bunch here, a whole handful of cards here that I made with various Impression Obsession stamps and dies. So let me go ahead and share those with you, and I'll share them fairly quickly. So keep in mind, these are all products from Impression Obsession. So this is a cute little image from Elisa Baker. And the sentiment is from I.O. as well. I did stamp some wood grain in the background there. It's very, very faint. And then there's glitter all over that little snow globe. Cute. I look at the hat has eyelashes. Cute. Here's another card I made using an image from, I believe, Lindsay. So like a little photo frame Polaroid there of the reindeer. Here's one with images from Lindsay. And I love this one with the big gold jingle bell there. And that's die cut out of gold foil paper. Here's another one, similar layout, also using that great big gold jingle bell. This image here is from Nola. And he's in a little snow globe there. So cute. And then here's a handful of cards that I made using recently released ones. Here's an ice skating snowman. These are really simple, quick, easy cards to make. Just a quick sentiment and an image. Do a little background stamping and you're good to go. So there's this one here. There's this card here that was made with the recently released Polar Bear set, which is an adorable set. And then my favorite is the penguin set. I used a cute little wooden heart there for detail. But love these little penguins. Here's another one I made with the penguin set that was recently released. Here's a card that I made using my gnome die. So I turned him into like a Santa gnome. So I love that. And then also here's one that I made with recently released dies for this year's Christmas. So there's the primitive star, there's the pair of boots, and there I am using that pine cone again. I just love that die set. And then the last card I have to share with you is this one, and it's an image by Elisa, and it's a teacup full of Christmas cheer. There's some mistletoe and a little pine sprig in there. That's so cute. So those are the Christmas cards that I have in my stash, my completed card stash. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave a link to the playlist below where you can catch all the other videos where I share all of the completed cards that I have in my stash, and maybe you will find some inspiration there. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and until we chat again, take care. Bye.